You are now tuned in to WHITSHAW Sports Radio, sponsored by WHITSHAW Hoops. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more content. Let's go.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Coach Gary Bradshaw here with WHITSHAW Sports Talk, sponsored by WHITSHAW Hoops. I got my guy with me, Coach Shelton Whitaker, doing big things right here, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get right into it, man. Hey, college football rankings is coming out. You know, they got Georgia #1, Michigan #2, Cincinnati #3, Bama #4. Talk to me right now, Coach. How do you feel about these rankings right now?
I definitely think they got the top 4 teams. Definitely correct, but I don't think it's in that order. I believe personally that obviously Georgia should still remain #1, Cincinnati #2, Alabama #3, and then you got the Michigan Wolverines sitting at #4. That's how I personally would like to see it.
Okay. I mean, that's all, great facts, great points of views, man. I've been, looking at ESPN, and a lot of people are saying that if Bama was to lose in the SEC championship against Georgia, a lot of these guys are saying that, they might have Bama still able to get in it over a one-loss Oklahoma State team or a one-loss Notre Dame. How do you feel about that right there? Will a Bama two-loss team get in it?
It's tough to say. I personally think they should because a 2-loss Alabama team, I would take them over undefeated Cincinnati team, an 11-1 Michigan team, or 11-2. You know what I'm saying? 11. I would definitely take them over all of them because they've been there before. They have a great track record. They play in one of the hardest conferences in the country. So I think that they should be still able to go to the college football playoffs. But will the committee allow them? That's the real question, and what's going to have to be determined possibly. Because I don't see them beating Georgia.
Okay. So let's talk scenario right here.
All right.
Let's say Michigan, they lose.
Okay.
Cincinnati, they lose. Bama, they lose. Is Oklahoma State? Are they going to #2 if they win? Is Notre Dame, they're independent. Is Notre Dame automatic lock at 3? Ohio State, because they didn't play in the championship, do they move all the way from 7 to #4 and get in?
Well, especially with regards to Ohio State, they're currently sitting at 10-2. I don't think that they should get into the college football playoffs if those scenarios were to happen. Because say Michigan does lose, they're an 11-2 team. Say Cincinnati does lose. I think Cincinnati, if they lose any game this season, they should not be a contender for the college football playoffs just due to their schedule and their conference. But Alabama, like I said, if Alabama loses, I still think they need to, stay in there. But as far as Ohio State, I don't think that they should make it at all because they're 10-2. Notre Dame, that's another tricky one because they're not in a conference. So it's gonna be tough, man. And Oklahoma State, I think they should. If that scenario were to happen where Michigan, Cincinnati, and Alabama all 3 lose, I do think Oklahoma State should be somewhere in that mix.
Okay. Hey, y'all, right now, please, all you got to do is comment, like, subscribe the YouTube channel at WHITSHAW Hoops, man. We have a merch giveaway. We got Coach Shelton Whitaker on air right now with us, speaking some college football rankings, man. If you want to discuss this right now, all you got to do is call us right now, 803-220-7608. Thank y'all. But let's get right back into it. Let's talk right here, Oklahoma football. Did you get a chance to see Lincoln Riley in his press conference? He definitely did the Oklahoma Sooners fan base, alumni. He did him dirty. Did you get a chance to see that, Coach Shelton?
I did get a chance to see it, and we got the clip for our viewers. About to play it right now for you.
Lincoln, are you shocked that you've gotten this far without anybody asking you about all the rumors this week?
Just
I'm just saying I'm gonna ask you about it, so I might as well. I mean, it's nonstop. I mean, it's every day.
hold up, Kerry. I'm not going to be the next head coach at LSU.
Can I ask you?
Next question.
So the video, I mean, it's brilliant, it's genius. He answered all the correct questions, and then he hurried up and cut him off so he could not proceed to ask him any more questions. How do you feel about that, Coach?
I mean, that was a great tactic on his part, man. Because you know, when they said LSU, he said, "I'm not gonna be the coach at LSU. No more questions." So it was brilliant, man. Because he didn't lie. I just think it's funny that literally the next day he was officially announced the head coach at University of Southern Cal. So great deflection tactic on his part.
So I know you've already been seeing, the 5-star quarterback, he decommitted, receiver decommitted, running back decommitted. What is this gonna do for the USC Trojans football? Do you think this was a good hire for them?
Oh, I think it's a great hire. I mean, Oklahoma has had a pretty phenomenal season. USC has been struggling for the past couple of years. So I think this was a great hire, and I think they're going to get a lot more recruits. And I think we're going to see some players potentially from Oklahoma transfer over to USC. So who knows? They might even get Spencer Rattler. Who knows?
Uh, Spencer Rattler, I don't think he wants nothing to do with Lincoln Riley, man. He needs to give it up. He needs to go ahead and get with another coach. I don't think him and Lincoln is a perfect fit. I mean, the guy just got benched.
Yeah, that is true. That's a great point, Coach. That's a great point. He did. So yeah, that probably I recant my statement. That would probably not be a good fit, honestly.
I don't think it
But
would.
you know, it would be a good fit potentially. Instead
Mm.
of University of Southern California, why not University of South Carolina? Because you have head coach Beamer. You know what I'm saying? You got Beamer out there. He was recently an assistant coach at Oklahoma. So how do you feel about that potential?
That sounds. Hey, I never really thought about that. That does sound like a good landing destination because of the Oklahoma ties. But does he want to play in the SEC? He hasn't. He struggled in the Big 12.
That is true.
He's gonna get exposed in the SEC. I think he might need to go Big 12. I mean, not Big 12, Pac 12 football, or I mean, he might need to go ahead and just see what his name is looking like in the draft. You know, at this draft, quarterbacks may be down a little bit this year, so he might be able to showcase his talent. But at some point, I mean, you got to be willing to compete. You got to be willing to
Got to.
compete.
That's the facts.
So let's go ahead. Let's switch gears a little bit. As far as you know, LSU, who do you think is a good fit for that LSU head coaching position right
Good fit, man. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. I gotta really think about that one. They released Coach O. I just think that was kind of I don't know how to feel about it because 2019 they had one of the best teams in college football history. You know he has a down year 2020 2021, but it's just like dang. But it's a business, so. But for right now, I'm not sure. I got to really think about that.
now? I mean, well, they always say in the SEC as a coach, if you have, just about 2 to 3 struggling years, you're just about done. I mean, Dan Mullen, they got him out of there. It's Florida. They just hired Billy Napier from the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. I think that was a pretty good pickup for them, man. He definitely turned around that program down there in the Sun Belt. And he did some phenomenal things. It's just now winning the recruiting battle. I mean, at this point, you got Oklahoma, you got Texas coming on in. How do you feel about the additions of Texas and Oklahoma coming into the SEC?
Man, I find that really interesting, man. I mean, Texas A&M was, I think, one of the most recent. Was it Texas A&M? Those were one of the most recent additions.
Yep, Texas A&M.
And then I think it was Missouri, and Texas A&M has been doing pretty good. In this conference, they haven't won any SEC championships, but they've been a contender and they've been competing. So I think it'll be a good move for those universities. Um, I really want to see how they're going to compete in this league. I really want to see it.
I think it'll definitely be interesting. I mean, look at it, Lincoln Riley. He didn't want no piece of that SEC football. He hurried up and got out of there as fast as he could. I mean, he already inherited a great Oklahoma team from Stoops. Hey, Stoops is coming back. Stoops is coming back to coach them boys in the bowl game. Stoops, I'm proud of Stoops. I'm hearing his brother's in contention for the head coaching gig. Like,
Mhm.
like I said, I mean, there's pretty much blood in those guys to Oklahoma football, man.
That's
Those
facts.
guys did so much for Oklahoma football. I think Stoops may even come out and take over the team full time, especially those guys going to the SEC. Hey, Mac Brown did it. Mac Brown went to North Carolina. He said he was done at Texas. He came back again.
Back.
I'm telling you. So I really think Stoops. If it comes down to it, Stoops, if anybody can turn that Oklahoma program around and keep some recruits in there, I think it's Stoops.
Yeah, and if they want, like you said, they want to keep their recruiting, they need a familiar face.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They need somebody familiar with the program, somebody that has a good track record. So I think that would, that potentially could be a good idea.
Yep. Yep. I think that is. But no, for everybody tuned in right now on the WHITSHAW Sports Talk Radio, this is sponsored by WHITSHAW Hoops. Make sure y'all come and subscribe to the channel. I'm Coach Gary Bradshaw. Got my guy with me, Coach Shelton Whitaker, doing some phenomenal things. Also, shout out to WHITSHAW Productions, man. Any photography, videography, weddings, commercials, anything of that nature, y'all go on over to their Facebook at WHITSHAW Productions. Instagram at WHITSHAW Productions. And also, let's get right back into it, and then we're gonna wrap it up. We have to get right into it for tonight's picks or this week's pick. It's Tuesday. Um, who who do you have? You know, as your final four. I know you mentioned it earlier. Who do you have right now? Final four. We're gonna go through the game scenario. And you just let me know. You're gonna give your picks. I'm gonna give my picks.
All right.
Georgia, Alabama.
Man, I don't really like to say this too much, but hunker down dogs, man. I think Georgia's going to whoop them. The defense, you can't, it's hard to score on them. It's too hard.
All right. I'm going with Bama. I'm going with Bama. This is a must-win situation for Bama. Nick Saban, I think he's gonna have those guys coached up, ready to go, ready to compete. It's they've been there a few times and they've been owning Georgia in that college football playoff. They've been owning them. Let's get right into the next one. Michigan, Iowa, Big Ten championship.
Michigan. Definitely Michigan.
I'm going with Michigan as well. I think they're the favorite right there. But don't be surprised that Iowa team, man. The Iowa team, I definitely think. I mean, they've played in a lot of tough ball games.
It could definitely be
Houston,
a potential upset. Don't get
it
it
can
twisted.
be.
It could
It can be.
it can be.
It can be. Okay. Houston, Cincinnati.
Man, Cincinnati, man, 12-0 right now, looking to go 13-0. Potentially the first time ever.
First time ever.
So I'm gonna go with Cincinnati.
I'm going with as much as I want to see something miraculous happen this season. I'm going with Houston. I don't know why. I just feel like the Cincinnati guys, maybe they think they arrived. I'm going with Houston. Houston on the upset alert. And then our last sleeper, I mean, it really doesn't have anything to do with the college football playoff. You know what I'm saying? Unless something was to happen. Let's go Big 12 championship, Oklahoma State versus Baylor. What you got for me?
I think Oklahoma State's gonna whoop up on Baylor. I think they're gonna whoop them.
I didn't catch that Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma last week, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean it's pretty much a one possession game either way it goes. Baylor's been phenomenal. Well, they've been playing back and forth. I'm going with Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State can finish it and definitely make it interesting. If something was to happen with Cincinnati losing, a one-loss Oklahoma State team and Big 12 champion, I think they could get into it. Hey, can't thank you enough for tuning in with me, Coach Sheldon Whitaker. Make sure y'all please comment, select, subscribe to the channel, and also iTunes, Apple Podcasts, everything of that nature. Go like it. Go run it up right now. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. Out.